Hi, good morning. Welcome to my Wednesday devotional. As you can see, we are back in the studio, and today I'm actually obviously filming this ahead of time. And we got a lot happening. It's Purim today, and you're going to find out later on in Esther when I get to that part about why Purim is a very special holiday and has something to do with Esther. It's also a full moon, and it happens to be the 7th, my lucky number 7. Let's see, and we got time change happening this weekend. Let's see, and then a week from Friday will be St. Patrick's Day, my favorite holiday, woo, because it's my birthday. So lots going on, and yes, I am wearing all the shamrock necklaces because my friends that are watching this will know why. I was at a ROWC luncheon. It was off post in a really fabulous restaurant. And there's a lot of food, and desserts were just amazing. And so I'm kind of sugar high right now. I'm sugared up. So I thought, this is a great time to come on camera because I'm feeling it right now. Gave me some ideas of maybe some cooking videos. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, okay. So I'm feeling high. I'm feeling energetic and ready to do things here and get to a really great video. Okay. All right. So let's do it. We are on Esther, chapter 1, and we are in verses 12 through 13. All right. I'm going to read it, and then we'll talk about it. All right, so verse 12. When they conveyed the king's order to Queen Vashti, she refused to come. This made the king furious, and he burned with anger. He immediately consulted with his wise advisors who knew all of the Persian laws and customs, for he always asked their advice, okay? And so those are our two verses right now. So verse 12 over here, this is actually the last time you're going to hear about Queen Vashti, okay? And right here, she refused to come. So she was disobedient, right? This is, in my opinion, I think this is the beginning of the feminist movement, disobeying your husband. And for those of us who've been married and taken vows, I actually remember the priest saying, will you love, honor, and obey? And actually, there are Princess Diana and Duchess Meghan Markle both refused to have that word obey in their wedding vows. So, and we know Princess Diana sadly got a divorce. So, something to think about. I know that the feminist movement is all about disobedience, but you got to ask yourself, and I'm going to ask you more, do you want to be a Vashti or do you want to be an Esther? Because this is the last time we hear about Vashti, okay? Because what happened? It made the king furious, and he burned with anger. All right, so what does that make you think? Right here, Proverbs 16:14. The anger of the king is a deadly threat, but the wise will try to appease it. So notice anger from Vashti, or the wise, Esther, she was going to try to appease it. So you're going to see as we go on in the story, how does Esther handle all this, when she becomes queen? Actually, and even better yet, why did she become queen? That's actually what we're going to be getting to here pretty soon. Probably the next couple of weeks or so. So verse 13, well, what did the king do? Yes, he was furious, but he immediately, interesting, he didn't miss a beat. He just went right to it. He consulted with his wise advisors, and they're trying to figure out what's a great solution. I'm sure it was a new concept. Think about, this is in the Old Testament before the time of Christ, and feminism, as we know, actually started in the 1800s here in America. So, it's not to say that I'm sure there's more feminist stories, just like this one where Queen Vashti refused to come. It's just that postmodern feminism started in Seneca Falls, New York, actually. I know this because of my bachelor's degree. So rise of feminism is now in modern times, but really, when you think about it, she refused to come. This, in my opinion, sounds like some early thoughts of feminism. Very interesting. I don't know. And of course, we always have to ask ourselves, why did Queen Vashti, uh, why was she disobedient? Why did she disobey the king? I mean, think about it. Just for a second, let's just take our feminist mind out of it. Let's think about all the tangibles. We just talked about a couple weeks ago all the fabulous decorations, all the money, all the land. I mean, this king is the king. He's not a little king, he's a big king. And he's very generous. Remember, they just got through a 6-month party. And when she refused to come, that was the end of the 7-day party. So, and he was very generous with the food and the wine and decorations and everything like that. So, to me, in my opinion, Van Vashti was so beautiful. That's why he wanted to show her off, really. That's what it was all about. He obviously liked beautiful things. And she probably thought, well, maybe I'm just arm candy. Maybe he's not looking at me as anybody intelligent and just, he just maybe thinks I'm just some pretty girl and that's it. And, I kind of understand. Maybe she's just feeling a little insecure or something like that. And maybe she, felt like it was disrespectful. And it could be argued, but then again, those times were much different and they're in a much higher class. They're not, like the middle class person that I am and the rest of us here, that, we don't think like that. We, to be up in the royalty is the highest level and it's a different way of thinking. And that's why it's difficult for commoners to try to become the princess or something, because it's something, I saw this in a movie, it's something you were born into, it's just a different way of thinking, So I can understand both sides of the story here. I can understand that maybe Vashti felt disrespected, but on the other hand, I can kind of see where the king is coming from, he's a king and he's paying for it, nowadays, I'm sure if this were, right now in 2023, she'd have cars, she'd have furs, she'd have all the fancy designer clothes, shoes, whatever, the fanciest of everything, there'd be no problem. There'd be endless money. So I don't know, what is the problem? That's why, last week I was just like, okay, as long as she's got her clothes on and nobody's touching her, and all she has to do is wear royal robes and a crown, what's the big deal? So you walk up and down, okay, blah, blah, blah. And then just go back to your own side, That's fine, I don't think that's a big deal. Now, if there was something else, like, it was going to be something lewd or, like, I don't know, they wanted her to strip or something awful like that, then, yeah, I can understand her saying no. But if that was the case, in my opinion, if she was strong enough to say no to the king and not be worried about his anger, then she should have been strong enough to communicate, hey, whatever XYZ thing you wanted me to do, that's not going to work. Let's compromise. Because really, when you're married, it's about compromise. Because you're not always going to agree, okay? So it just seems like there was a lot of miscommunication here, really, Before refusing, she should have at least gone back with the eunuchs and go to the king. I understand there's something about this eunuchs, because later on, and I'll talk about it next week in the Bible, where the king is arguing, hey, I was respectful and sent the message to the eunuchs, So back then, because they didn't have text or messenger or, I don't know, whatever thing, email, maybe sending it through eunuchs was okay, but then she should have sent it back to the eunuchs. We need to talk about it before, I make my decision, something, I don't know. It just seems like there could have been so many other ways for Vashti to handle this. So I kind of feel sorry for her, but then I'm like, well, no, there could have been an opportunity. And people say, oh, she couldn't talk to the king. Well, but she did. She refused. So if she's refusing, then why not say something before the refusal? But, that's just my humble middle class roots here. I don't know. But yeah, just this whole thing. So that's the last you're going to see of Vashti. She's out. Now, it doesn't say later, in the Bible, was she beheaded? Was she, sent back to her family. You know, will she be just banished from the kingdom? She's going to find a job somewhere else. I don't know. You know, it just doesn't say. So I'm just so curious. But I'm trying to do strictly from the Bible, and this just go line by line. So I don't know. We'll see how he consults his advisors and how they're going to say, you know, we're just napes. We're not handling this feminism. You know, we can't have women going around, you know, refusing. And, you know, I know this would anger the feminist movement, but to a certain extent, that's true. You know, it just has to be respectful. And as we learn in Genesis, you know, what's the role of men and women? It's to respect each other, but we have different roles. You know, the king has his role, the queen has her role, and they complement each other. You know, but they do have differences, and that's okay. It's healthy, and even conflict is healthy. She could have had a healthy conflict and gone back to him first and say, you know, honey, let's try to work out a deal here. You know, can I keep my clothes on? Can I, you know, just make sure the eunuchs are my bodyguards? You know, it sounded to me like that's what was going to happen since he had 7 eunuchs deliver the message. Sounds to me like they would escort her in and they would be the bodyguards, you know. You know, sounds legit to me, but I don't know. You know, I could be all wrong. A lot of people have a lot of different arguments about this. So, all right. Well, this is getting long. So happy early St. Patty's Day. I'm really excited this year. It's going to be my 50th. Woohoo! 50. So I'm excited. I really am. I'm feeling great. And I'm just glad you guys are watching. I so appreciate every view and especially every subscription, because the more subscriptions will put me on the main part of YouTube so we can get God's word out, because that's my goal here. It's just to introduce the Bible to people, and you can enjoy it or not, your choice, you know, but you know, I'm just introducing. All right, well, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please do subscribe, like, share, comment, whatever you like to do. Makes things more fun. I really hope you enjoy these videos, and I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next week. All right, bye-bye.